Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the CamShell Kids Podcast. I'm Iga, the founder of CamShell Kids, a platform created to support families on their journey toward holistic health for children. Our goal is to bring together experts and parents to talk about complementary and alternative medicine, or CHEM, in ways that are practical, safe, and empowering for kids and families. Today, we're starting off with something very special. A conversation about traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM, and how it can help children grow healthier and stronger naturally. Joining me is Mr. ChunHuat from Nexus TCM in Singapore, a trusted practitioner with years of experience supporting families through TCM care and education. ChunHuat, welcome to the show.
Hi Iga. Thanks for having me on the show.
Let's start with your story.
Okay.
Would you share a little about your background and what inspired you to practice TCM?
I graduated from a biomedical science and TCM double degree program jointly organized by NTU, Nanyang Technological University, and Beijing University of TCM. And after I graduated, I continued with my postgrad education with Liaoning University of TCM. And before I started my clinic, I spent almost a decade in a charity clinic where I learned to help my patients in their health journey. And then what attracted me to TCM was actually how it is part of life. So our health is actually affected by what we do daily, how we eat, how we sleep, how we deal with anxiety, how we connect with the nature and people around us.
And how did you start working with children specifically?
I come from a really huge family. Being around kids really makes me very happy. And throughout my education in China, we have witnessed how TCM is a very safe and non-invasive procedure that can help kids deal with their daily nuances like fever, colic, constipation, without having any injections or even oral medication. This really drives me to think of what I can do for Singapore parents.
And I feel that in Singapore, it's pretty common for adults, but when it comes to kids,
they are unaware that TCM can work for kids. The mindset of TCM is mostly acupuncture, cupping, more of the physical stuff. So we try to educate our parents and even schools on how TCM can actually help.
And what are some of the most common issues that TCM can help with in children?
Common issues like respiratory problems, allergic rhinitis, asthma, chronic cough, falling sick easily, or digestive problems like constipation, colic for babies, and even to sleep issues or when schooling kids have anxiety. These are some things that TCM can do. We actually try to promote more preventive measures. So doing small tweaks to your lifestyle can actually prevent your kids from falling sick that often.
How is the TCM approach to children's health different from the Western medical approach?
Western medicine focuses on identifying and eliminating symptoms. So, for example, if your kid has a fever, they'll give you ibuprofen, paracetamol. If you have a cough, they give you a cough syrup to suppress the cough. Whereas for TCM, on top of treating the disease, we also look for the root cause of the issues. For example, a kid might come in with a cough. Sometimes it may be because there's a heat in the lungs. Sometimes it's because they have a weak spleen. So instead of just treating the symptoms, we look for the root cause and we fix it from within.
Something interesting came up during our earlier chat. You mentioned that in Western medicine, if parents aren't satisfied with a doctor, they will just switch to another one.
Mm-hmm.
But in TCM, if someone has one bad experience, they might give up on TCM altogether. Yeah. Why do you think that happens?
I think the first fundamental issue is the lack of understanding. They do not understand how TCM looks at the disease. For example, if I tell you, oh, your sore throat is because you have constipation, or your rhinitis is because you are eating a lot of cold food, they wouldn't understand what it means. And then so when the treatment comes, the expectation will be unknown. TCM is very personalized. The individual physicians might need some time, maybe 1 or 2 consultations to get the right treatment. So it's different from Western medication where you come in, I tell you what it's for, and you take it. And you have no questions asked because this is the mainstream medicine that everyone is used to. So if you want them to change to something that is alternative, they will have their doubts. So when one thing fails and knowing that parents are actually very anxious about their kids, one try, they don't get it, and then they're just like, okay, this doesn't work. Let's go something else. Yeah.
And I think your upbringing influences you a lot.
Yes. I mean, if you're not exposed to TCM, you will not have heard of this. And even with parents spread about how good TCM is, you will still, because every kid is different. Some kids, they react very well to TCM. They want treatment and they recover. And some kids, they need longer because fundamentally they are not as strong. So we need time to build up the body. And yeah, that's something that I think we need to educate parents about.
How can parents build trust and understanding with a TCM practitioner? You mentioned that it depends on the practitioner. Every kid is different. So how can parents judge the situation?
A good consultation will involve good questions asking. So the doctors will ask questions related to how your kid is doing, how they are in their daily lives. And I think parents should also ask questions. They need any doubts, you just ask. How long does it take to recover? What should I expect from this treatment? Will there be any side effects? When all these things are well conveyed, I think it will breach the connection. I think half of the treatment is based on what the doctor gives, and the other half is how cooperative the parents are. For example, if a kid has heatiness in the body, meaning there's excessive energy, and then the doctor says, okay, let's stop taking anything that's fried and sweet, and then parents don't do it, it's just going to worsen the condition, no matter how much medicine you get.
So it's a lifestyle change sometimes that is important.
If you realize most of the TCM consultation will always end up with how you can change your life. There will be a lot of advice. Oh, sleep early. Oh, take less of this. Do more of this. Yeah.
And you mentioned the consultation. What kind of questions a TCM practitioner might ask?
We will ask questions like, how's the bowel? How's his behavior at home? How's his sleep? Things that are not exactly related to the illness itself. Yeah. So this is something that helps us understand holistically what is the underlying cause. Because a child's body might be affected by the disease, but the underlying cause is usually still imbalances in the body.
Do you check the tongue and check pulse?
Yes. Yeah. So tongue and pulse is crucial. Not all kids can express their discomfort verbally. So we have to look at things that are more objective, like their tongue, their pulse, even the shape of the stool, things that are private and very minute. We tend to look at this more intently so that we can understand what is inside the body.
There is a lot of talk lately about treating the root cause. What does that really mean in practice, in TCM specifically?
So treating the root cause means we are not just targeting the symptoms. We are also looking at what caused it in the first place. So for example, a kid that falls sick easily, we will look at maybe the lifestyle of the kid. Is he getting too much food? Does he have a weak digestion? Or is he just weak as an overall constitution? So instead of just treating the issue, we are also preventing it from happening. Instead of just repainting the house, we are rebuilding the building from the foundation onwards.
Could you share some examples of how treating the root cause has helped children instead of just addressing symptoms?
One good example would be children with chronic cough. They have taken medication for months and without any signs of recovery. Most of the time in our clinical settings, we realize kids are actually overeating. So one issue is parents, after the kids fall sick, they have poor appetite during their sickness. And then after they recover, parents will want to feed them more so that they can grow and develop better. But this is usually the wrong case because overeating can cause accumulation of phlegm in the body, which results in a prolonged cough. So by adjusting their diets and doing treatment like pediatric massage and medication, we can improve their digestive system, which in turn help to reduce the phlegm production and resolve the cough in the long run. Another common example will be kids with poor appetite and slow growth. So most of the time, parents will worry about kids not eating enough and slowing growth. So what they do is just keep feeding them more and hope that things will change. On TCM, we believe that a good growth and appetite depends on a good digestive system. So with pediatric massage, with herbal remedies such as herbal soups and teas, we can also improve the children's health as an overall. So it's not just adding on more things. We stop, look back, and see what is the root issue.
So for parents who are new to TCM, what's a good first step?
A good first step will be to have a consultation, not when your kid is sick. You can bring your kid when they are healthy, so we can look at them as a healthy body, and at the same time figure out their constitution, which will in turn help us in the long run in preventing issues from happening. If parents have concerns about taking herbal medicine, we actually do pediatric massage, where it's safe, non-invasive, and interactive. And even parents can learn basic massage points that they can do at home for their children. And this also helps to prolong the effects of TCM.
You say figure out the body constitution.
So the body constitution is affected by two factors. One factor will be the genetic factors. So if your mom, while having you, takes a lot of heaty food, you might turn out to be a very heaty baby. You inherit the heatiness from the mom. Or if your mom has a weak digestive system, it's always phlegmy, the food that she eats doesn't get digested properly. So in the tummy, the child will also inherit certain body types, the constitution. And the second part of constitution will be affected by after birth. So after birth, what you are fed, what you are given will also affect how your body reacts. In TCM, we believe that food is medicine. So how we classify food will be in three main categories: the cooling food, the neutral food, and the warming food. So when these food are taken in excess or in long period of time, it can cause a certain effect on the body. So for example, if you take heaty food, such as chili, peppers, gingers, for a long period of time, you might realize you start to develop ulcers or sore throat or constipation. Whereas if you take cooling food such as watermelon, bitter gourd, for a long period of time, you start to have cold symptoms such as cramps, stomach pain. What we believe is a well-proportionate diet of cooling and warm food will help your body maintain its best in the long run.
Are there any simple practices or lifestyle tips that parents can start with at home?
A simple lifestyle tips that I usually give parents would be to not overfeed your child. So give your kids food in moderation, nothing that is too much in excess or a single type of food for a long period of time. This gives your kids a chance to absorb nutrients from all types of food, and then it also helps them develop the interest in eating. There are three types of food that children are taking too much. The first one might be surprising to most parents, and it is actually fruits. So parents focus on the nutrients, the vitamins, and also the fiber intake of the fruits. But they also forget that fruits contains very, very high amount of sugar that might disrupt your child's hunger cue and also how they can rest. Second thing that I think kids overeat will be processed food, such as crackers, cookies, things that are easy to come by. And the third type of food that people overtake will be sugary drinks. That includes your sugared yogurt, your fruit juices. These are things that I think parents tend to overlook in terms of convenience. Another tip I will advise parents to have will be to let your kid move. Physical activity actually helps to move the qi in the body, which is the energy flow. It helps with growth, helps with immunity, and also helps with digestion. So a final tip will be to let your kid sleep at a certain timing. In general, we usually think that sleeping 8 hours is good for your health. But actually in TCM, we believe that sleeping at the right time is more beneficial. So for kids, usually we recommend them to sleep from 9 so that the body can grow and rest and recover from the whole day of activity. This is also when our body is best at detoxifying and recovery.
What's one key message you would like parents to take away from this episode?
So I always tell parents, TCM is not just fixing what's wrong, it's about building what's right. So if we can start from young, we build a strong foundation, your kids will definitely grow up to have a better health in the long run.
That was such an insightful conversation, ChunHuat. Thank you so much for sharing your time, your knowledge, and your passion for children's health with us today. And to all the parents listening, thank you so much for joining me for this very first episode of CamShell Kids Podcast.